Vets and homelessness is another major thing. In this town, we have we're lucky enough to have a VA, so people who are folks who are veterans do have health care here, but 20% of homeless people in this town are veterans, military veterans, and of them, a little over half are only a little over half are getting any sort of aid and assistance from the VA right now, which I thought was an interesting statistic because they tend to do a lot, and to see that almost half of vets aren't taking it up. But I know so many vets, and they're almost all combat vets who have had and seen horrific trauma while they were in the service.
So we as Americans send them to war and then don't take care of them when they come home. And we wonder why we're stepping over them on curbs.
I had a friend tell me, he explained it to me, that nobody really needed an artilleryman when he got home. Which is true. Like, loading shells and a big gun doesn't train you to do a whole lot in this world. Yeah. And it's more than just vets. I've seen people who are current, reserve guard members and stuff like that who were living at the shelter and who were homeless while they were still serving as a part-time citizen soldier. So even our current duty part-time soldiers were, between tours, were living in the shelter until their next tour, And that's the economy's a huge driver on recruitment too. They recruit out of the poorer classes because people are desperate and don't have a job. Like, if you're 18 and living in Detroit with 50% unemployment, and a recruiter came up and said, "Oh, you can get a signing bonus of $20,000," and so these people are not really given opportunity. They're not really given any real practical, real world training, and then after their 4 years are done and they've been put through hell, they get turned out on the streets.
Without the resources and the psychological counseling and all of the things
the VA
we should be doing as a nation.
The VA here is really pretty good, but there's still issues with people's access to services. The VA seems to make it a high priority to find reasons why they can't or why they are not required to treat somebody's illness. Especially Gulf War vets, the first Gulf War.
Really?
Yeah. They tend to get a lot less, and they tend to not be diagnosed. They put it under the Gulf War syndrome kind of unidentifiable illness, and they cut them a small check for like $215 a month because they can't identify the cause of the illness.
Wow.
So they're very similar to the vets who are exposed to Agent Orange and stuff like that in terms of their illnesses, but they haven't gotten real recognition like the Agent Orange vets had to fight for, but finally got. But yeah, it's just one of those things that vets are way more likely than non-vets to spend time on the streets.